So I got a few things in the mail that I'm pretty excited about. It looks so cool. Check this out. It looks so good. Wait, there's more. Stickers. Stickers! If you're new to my channel, you might not know this, but I designed some shirts and some stickers, I don't know, maybe a month ago. I finally ordered some tests and I'm pretty happy with them. I ordered 3 of the shirts. This one I'm the most happy with. The brand is Comfort Colors and I got it from Printful. It's got a little graphic on the front and then a bigger graphic on the back. Overall, super happy with this one. I love the quality of the shirt. It feels really good. It looks good. Hold on, I'll put it on. Here it is. I'm pretty happy with it. I like this one because I think the fit is pretty good. I like the length of the sleeves. I like the length of the shirt itself. In terms of the way it just feels very nice. It feels very quality. The graphic, I think, also feels really good. The graphics on the other shirts were looking a little bit cheap and kind of felt like they might maybe peel off. These are the other 2, and I feel like I can just, I don't know, they feel cheaper. Like the quality of the shirt just doesn't feel as nice. It feels like there's like more plastics in them or something. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain without you guys touching them. I showed this shirt to my friends though, and the critique I got from them was a grammatical error with the design, so nothing on the shirt's fault, just my own. So apparently, this little apostrophe I added, that's wrong. It just doesn't really make sense to have it there. This isn't the first time I've made grammatical errors with my art. Look, grammar might not be my strong suit, but I draw good, mostly. So anyway, I gotta fix that on the shirt designs, and then if we look at the stickers, I think the line work might be a little bit too light. I think after I make those adjustments, I'm gonna do another sample order. I wanna order 3 more shirts, 1 of this kind, and then 2 more of a different brand. I just wanna compare and make sure that this one is the best one to go with. I think since I have this shirt though, I'm just gonna do a few different tests, wear it for the rest of the day, throw it in the wash a couple times, maybe even wear it to the gym once and, you know, see how it holds up. But yeah, this is cool. I'm making progress. I'd love to do a hat next. Okay, so I just ordered the new sticker designs and shirt designs. I think I'm gonna spend the rest of the day working on a new concept for an illustration. And then tomorrow I think I'm gonna continue working on that illustration, or I'm gonna spend the day working on a digital painting, because I haven't done one of those in a while. So recently I was talking to someone who owns a gallery. We were chatting for a while, I told them I was an artist, and they began to give me advice on how I could get my artwork into their gallery. Mind you, they had never seen my artwork before. They asked if they could give me the advice, and I said sure. They told me that in order to get my work into galleries, I should make sure that my artwork has a theme. Some sort of overarching subject matter or story that you can see throughout all of my work. The thing is, my artwork doesn't really have a theme. I'm all over the place, and this piece of advice I've heard many times in many different ways. Niche down, find your style, stick to a theme. I hate this advice. For me, this feels like the most limiting thing in the world to hear as an artist. I want to make whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want. And this piece of advice feels like it would stop me from doing that, from being able to explore and experiment and see how things really connect. I think for me, it's really important to be able to explore these different mediums and different subject matters because I want to see what I can branch together and what new ways I can create things. I think at this point in my life, I'm very much in a stage of experimentation. Even in this video, I've talked about a few different ways that I like to make things. I'm making stickers and shirts, I'm working on an illustration, I'm maybe doing a digital painting tomorrow. And the thing is, within each of these things that I'm making, none of the subjects really cross over. There are a few things within all of my work that does start to cross over, but a lot of it doesn't. I know that it's important to niche down. I know that this piece of advice is very much warranted, especially if you want to make a living as an artist. It's true, if you want to get your artwork into galleries, you have to niche down. You have to be making one kind of thing. It could be maybe across different mediums, but it all still has to be one subject, one story. I think the niching down thing is so important because people inherently like familiarity. They like to know what they're gonna get. The thing is though, I think this really limits artists' creativity. It puts them in a box and it keeps them from experimenting and seeing how all of these different things connect. I've had many different conversations with friends lately where they've even told me that this whole idea of having to niche down has made it so that they felt so limited that they gave up on making art. I think so many artists want the freedom to just be able to explore. But in order to be a successful artist and get into galleries and sell your work, you have to be marketable. And I think this whole idea around trying to niche down and become marketable kind of kills the spirit of making art. I heard recently that you shouldn't try to market what you love, because in order to have something be marketable and be successful, you have to make it over and over and over again. And the reason that you should avoid making something that you love marketable is because if you do it every single day, you might not love it anymore. Instead, you should try to find something that you like or that you enjoy doing every day. And I've heard this many times before, but I feel like I'm starting to understand it more now. I love making art. It is so much fun and I have so much left to learn, and I feel like if I were to niche down, I would be stunting myself. I want to continue making whatever I want. I want to continue bouncing around to different subjects and mediums. I don't want to put a label on myself. I don't want to stick to one path with my art. I want to just be an artist, someone who makes things, whether it's through drawing or sculpting or painting, whatever. I want to just make it. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. Ever since this person gave me this piece of advice, it has been dug into my brain. And at first, I thought it was only limiting because I was only seeing it in reference to my art. But recently, I've started to reframe it. Maybe I don't need to niche down my artwork. Maybe I can just niche down the way that I share my artwork. Maybe the way that I can niche down is through my videos. So I was talking to a friend and I was trying to explain what I'm getting at with this whole niching down thing, and I realized that I might not be explaining myself very well. I think I can limit the way that I present my art. For example, I love making these videos. I feel like I can make them over and over again, and I feel like they're an excellent way to showcase all of the art that I make. I feel like I can just funnel everything I make through this lens, and it'll create its own art and theme and style. It's almost like each video becomes a mixed media piece. These videos become a narrowed art form that I can use to express myself. I think that making videos and posting on social media might be the perfect way for artists to niche down without having to limit their creativity. Through YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, people can become very familiar with who you are as a person, and thus become very familiar with your artwork. People can make connections for you, and people will fall in love with your art because they see the stories behind it. At least that is what I'm choosing to believe. For me, it feels so much more freeing to niche down in this way than to niche down all of my artwork into just one subject. Because ultimately, I can't do that. I can keep putting out videos though, and I've started to post more on Instagram. And I think the more that I do those things, the more people will see my work. And maybe the more people will become familiar with me. And over time, maybe I'll start to see connections through all my work and I can start to see themes, but I want to let that happen organically. I don't want to force a niche onto my artwork. It doesn't feel right to limit it like that. I could be totally wrong here. But I think as long as I just keep making things and keep putting things out there, that all of it will kind of connect because I made it. Maybe there will be some sort of overarching theme because it was just created by me. I hope any of this made sense. I feel like I've been rambling forever. These are just some thoughts I've been having and thought I'd share with you guys. It's been kind of a while since I last did a digital painting, at least for a video, but I'm pretty happy with how this one came out. I painted a few different cats, but when I got to this one, I really liked it and decided to finalize it. In the last vlog, I was talking about how I want to start doing more traditional pieces and move away from the digital. I had mentioned how it would feel really cool to be able to start making some of these digital paintings physically. And I think this one is actually a great example to try to do that with. It's not too complicated, and I think I could translate it pretty well. But I think I'll save that for the next vlog.